Hi, I'm Chris. You're watching PROVOST Park Pass, and today we're talking about Merlin. Merlin. Why Merlin? Because I think the little ones have to learn about him. So, last month I was in Disneyland Paris, and I was showing the back of the Disneyland Paris castle, and there's Merlin's workshop there. And as I was filming and talking about that, my son was hearing that. He's like, well, who's this Merlin guy? And I'm like, you know, from Sword in the Stone, Merlin. And he kind of was like, he couldn't really place it. I was like, oh, I don't think a lot of kids know that, so we want to talk about Merlin. Wait a minute. Here comes Geppetto. It's looking so good. Oh my gosh. I love it when they have these characters out there. just walking right on by. There goes Geppetto. So, for those of you who maybe don't know, the Sword of the Stone is this sword goes through an anvil into a stone. And the story is whoever can pull out this sword, they're gonna be the new king of England. Well, there's a little servant boy, his name is Arthur, and his nickname is Wart. That's very important. And he one day needs a sword, and he doesn't really know the whole legend, and he goes and he tries to pull the sword out, and he does. He pulls it out to go use it, and so he ends up becoming the king of England. But Merlin, who is the greatest wizard of all time, he ends up taking Arthur under his wing and kind of gives him, like, he kind of guides him. Here's some fun fact though, a little trivia. J.K. Rowling, for the Harry Potter series, she says that Merlin was in the house of Slytherin. So there's that. All right, so let's talk about Merlin and show you more about Merlin. All right, so here's the Sword of the Stone. If you look right there, there's a sword that goes through anvil, and there's a little plaque. It says the Sword of the Stone. Whoso pulleth out this sword of this stone and anvil is rightful ruler and born of England. There it is. And you grab it, and you'll be able to pull it, but it doesn't come out. Now, Arthur, of course, he pulled it out. They used to have it a long time ago. They'd come out every once in a while and they have a little ceremony for some kid that would pull it out, but they don't do that anymore. But yeah, that was the Sword of the Stone. You have to pull it out of the anvil of the sword and you become the rightful ruler of England. Then, right behind it, of course, what is it called? King Arthur's Carousel. So King Arthur's Carousel is right there. Hi, how are you? Yeah, it becomes King Arthur's Carousel because he becomes the king because he pulls a sword out of stone. Now, of course, this whole is based off the movie Sword of the Stone. It's a Disney animated feature. You can watch it on Disney Plus. But let's go down here. There's a whole store. I don't know if you guys know this. Here in Fantasyland, the whole store is dedicated to Merlin. Yeah, let's go check it out. So right here, you can see it. It's right, there's the entrance to the castle we walked to. It's called Merlin's Marvelous Miscellany. And this is a whole store. Higgidus, Figgidus, Miggidus Mum, Prestigious, Prestigidigitum, I don't know how to pronounce that, but you get to walk in and everything in here is going to be based for Merlin, and I love that. Right here, this is the cash register area, but you're gonna look up here. There's a lot of stuff up here you need to take a look at. Now you're gonna see there's something kind of interesting there. There's like a little skull, maybe it looks like a gorilla skull or something, but in the animated film, you can see it, he has a skull just like that there. So there's a little skull right over there. Then, this is what's really cool. Do you see this right here? This is from Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci, he actually drew up plans. That's right, this is not a joke. He drew up plans for the very first tank. And it's like this little wood tank and it would roll on the ground. So it looks like Merlin saw the blueprints of it and he decided to make a little prototype of that tank, which is really cool. I had no idea. This is a tank. He came up with this idea as a tank here, and he wrote a letter saying that he could create a thing that would make it unstoppable for the army. And it literally had cannons inside of it, and it could go in all four directions basically, and men would sit inside it. It took 8 men and they would pedal this and move the tank forward, and the infantry could go behind it. It wasn't really, I mean, it was utilized at the time, but then it kind of fell away. But then during World War I, they revitalized the tank. But this was the first tank ever. Moving on over here, you're gonna see there's a lot of frog references here in this store. The reason is because King Arthur, when he was a little boy, his nickname was Wart. So lots of frog references. Now, if you watch the film, Merlin, at one point, he has a battle with Madame Mim, and they're turning each other into like animals. And right behind the register there's a little thing that says the bestiary summermen, I guess. These are all the different animals that they got turned into in that battle. Isn't that great? Hi. Now with Disney, of course, you always have to be on the look up. A lot of times we're walking, always looking down. Disney hides lots of things up, so let's look up. above each of the these are the little cap ends where they have all the merchandise. But you look up, there's lots of books. Of course, books and scrolls, because Merlin is always reading and educating himself and trying to learn more. He's like got a voracious appetite for knowledge. It's a very desirable trait, I believe. And look at all these books. They're just tucked everywhere because he's reading all the time. And scrolls. Then you come over here, of course, you're gonna see more books and more books. And you're gonna see these are little inventions. Again, some little inventions that Merlin was like, hey, I think we can make a little paddle boat. You've got some, now we're getting to some bottles, maybe some potions. There's a dragon right there. I love this. This bottle is turned on its side. And then if you look right here, got, I don't know, they're like little grubs. Just little grubs and some green goo, I guess. Moving over here, you've got some more potions. This is a flying machine. Now this is literally, Leonardo da Vinci did that. He came up with this idea of having this kind of like a helicopter, and it looks like that Merlin was tinkering around with Leonardo da Vinci. So he probably must have been a big admirer of Leonardo da Vinci. I think Leonardo da Vinci, I think he did that paddle boat too. I'm not sure about that, but I do know he did that one. This is another one. It's the aerial screw, but it's like a helicopter. He designed this. This is a small model of it. You could turn this here to see it kind of go. They said that it never really would have worked. It was a little too heavy. And it took 4 men to get it, to create this upward draft. It was done with linen and wood. But the principles are sound. I mean, if he doesn't have the materials, if he would have, he could have made that work. So going over here, you're gonna see even more stuff. Now, you're gonna see there's a knight helmet up there, okay? And then you got a bunch of stuff over here. This is Archimedes' house. Archimedes is an owl that Merlin has, like his pet owl, and there's Archimedes' house right there. Now, Merlin was training Arthur, and in one of the parts of the movie, he's training him against a knight, like a training dummy, learning how to joust. And look, behind me, they have that training dummy here. There's that training dummy right there, and there's the little jouster. Training him to be efficient jousting. So right over here, of course, you got a catapult. That's another Leonardo da Vinci design. Of course, maybe I'm starting to think, was Leonardo da Vinci actually Merlin in a different time? We don't know. Maybe, I don't know. But there's a catapult design for that. And looking up here, a little brass, kind of have these little brass plates. I don't know what those are for, but they're just kind of cool to see. This shop has some unique history. It was like a toy shop. At one point, though, it was a villain shop. It was just for villains. A long time ago, I think that was they did it before its time. I mean, they did it too soon. When they were doing the villain shop, people didn't appreciate villains. Nowadays, I think if they did this into a villain shop, it would be just swamped and people would love it. But they did, at one point, this was just a villain shop. Now they sell all kinds of little merchandise, of course, but they have some fun things here. You've got, I love this mug. Look at this mug. This is for Peter Pan. And you've got Peter Pan, you got Michael. They've carved their names on a tree, which I now need to show you something. So remember that carving their names on a tree right there? Well, I'm gonna walk through. There's a little tunnel right outside that shop. You go right around this tunnel, go around, and there's a tree there. And if you look at the tree, you're gonna see a carving. Oh my gosh, there's the, hold on. This is unexpected. It's the evil queen.
Yes, of course.
Look,
how lucky you are to see
I feel lucky. It's a pleasure to be here. It's wanted to say hello. Thank you for letting me share this time with you.
For gracing you with my presence.
Yes,
You are welcome.
thank you.
Farewell, Captain.
Farewell. Oh, that was unexpected. All right, but there's a little teeny tiny walkway. If you come up this walkway right here, you're gonna see this tree, and I need to show you this right here. They have some people who are, well, there's like the Lost Boys is carved on the tree right there. Yeah, Lost Boys. They've carved their names on the tree, and it's also on the mug right here, right next to the store. So now let's walk back into Merlin's Marvelous Miscellany. Let's walk right back in here, and we saw there it is right here. They also have other Peter Pan merchandise here, so it's kind of fun they have that. And I think there's a reference to a crocodile here for Peter Pan. Let me show that to you, but I'm not exactly sure. So behind the counter, there is a crocodile here, which possibly could be a reference to Peter Pan, maybe? Kept the hook? I don't know. I think that's really cool. Now I have to show you some other cool merchandise I have here. It's kind of unique to this theme, the theme of Merlin. Right there, that's Merlin. There's Archimedes. It's a little, little drawing there, which, the greatest wizard of all time. Of course, there's little Disney stuff. I just think it's really cool. I love it. Now, of course, we are in Fantasyland here in the store, so they gotta represent other stories. You have your Jiminy Cricket mug because of Pinocchio, your conscience. So we have the Peter Pan stuff, and then now, of course, we have Sleeping Beauty. Here is Sleeping Beauty right here. And my question for you is this. Which dress do you prefer? Disney prefers the pink. She's in the pink. She's always in the pink. But of course, she also sometimes does the blue, right? Make it pink, make it blue, make it pink, make it blue. Which one do you prefer? Disney obviously prefers the pink. I always felt that, I didn't understand, why didn't the green wizard ever turn it? I think it would have cool if like, at one point they would have turned the dress green. At one point, it should have. They do have a little tea set right here, of course, this is like your tea pot, and then underneath it your little mug. She is in pink, but this is when she's just dressed. This is when she says Briar Rose. And then they also have little mirrors for you to get ready, and you got these little mirrors and like the animals. Hello. Oh, I just noticed another catapult up there. Something that you might kind of notice though in the movie Sword in the Stone, when Madame Mim and Merlin are battling, they're turning each other into animals. Madame Mim's animals are a little more ferocious, where Merlin's animals are a little kinder and softer because he is more of a pacifist, doesn't believe in strong violence unless he has to. So now I'm going to show you the most popular thing that sells here. It's brand new. They've only had it 2 weeks. And by the time you watch this video, and maybe if you come down here to see it, it might be sold out because they only have a certain amount, but this has been very popular and people absolutely love it. Let me show it to you. This right here. This is a jewelry box. It's only been out here for about 2 weeks and it is so popular and people are loving it. Here's the back of the box. It's the Ashley Taylor collection. And so yeah, this is amazing. It's very popular. It's very popular. And they've only had it for about two weeks. And I was asking cast members about it. They're like, oh yeah, they don't know how long they're gonna have it, but they all want it too. Everybody wants it because everybody loves it. If you like jewelry, you probably like it. Also, the first place I ever saw this was at Disneyland Paris. I love that they have this little thing that kind of hangs up, you just hang it up. I just think that's so cool. There's the back, and there's the front. Can somebody do me? I know there's a good graphic artist out there. Is there an artist out there? Could you do this? Could you take her dress and put it into that green, the fairy, that green color, and then tag us in Provost Park Pass on Instagram, and I'll share it for everybody to see, because I would like to see what she looks like in the green dress. I always felt that was not fair because that one fairy never did it. She was just too good. It was always blue and pink, blue and pink. We need the green dress. So if anybody can do that, tag us on Instagram, Provost Park Pass. I will take that photo and we'll share it. Well, one part in the movie, Merlin goes swimming and he's got some pink swim trunks. And you look at the front window right there, you can see his swim trunks. Oh, there he is, Captain Hook. Yes, you look fantastic. By the way, I have to tell you something. Do you know, I know where you got your hook from. Yeah, the secondhand store. Hey! Oh.
I don't think this is the time for that type of humor.
So tears of joy. Thank you. Right there. So if you look, there's a window. Get a reflection. Get it. There you can see his swim trunks. I love that. Those are his swim trunks. And then, if you look really carefully here in the front window, you see there's Archimedes. He's using Archimedes as the blueprint for a wing, and he's creating like a wing, like a flying machine. And of course, there's the hidden Mickey in this front window. Let me show you the hidden Mickey. It's done in blueprint style. If you look right up here, you can see it. Let me zoom in. Right there. Oh, it's getting reflection here. How do I get that reflection? There it is. It's done in blueprint style. You can see the little hidden Mickey right there. You'll also notice there's a window. You zoom in, you see it says lapis lazuli with some navy blue stones. If you look up lapis lazuli, it is a royal blue stone, and it's highly regarded for people who use it for having high wisdom and intelligence, which is exactly what Merlin has. And then right above it, you see this, it says aquamarine. Aquamarine is said to have been created by Poseidon, the god of the oceans, and it's said to have a healing factor and a calming factor. Healing and calming, aquamarine, which I think is also indicative of Merlin. In the front window, you can also see reflection. Those are my knees. Hide it. There it is. Here's his spectacles, his reading glasses, and of course, he has a giant telescope because he's always looking at the stars. And there's a little perch for Archimedes, his pet owl. I don't really know if Archimedes is his pet. They're just more buddies, I think. Back here at the register, you're gonna notice again, you'll see there's candles and they're flickering. I think that's really cool. They have those going and flickering. And this is something interesting because the artist who created this, people want to buy that print. He never created it for sale, but they still hope that one day he'll put it up for sale. If he did, I'd buy it. I need to know. Put it down in the comments below. Pink or blue, or green. Which one is your favorite? I just have to know, like, which one's your favorite? We know Disney leans heavily into pink. For them, it's all pink. But do you guys like the pink or the blue better? I need to know. Another detail I like is just these candles they have here. I just love that. I think they're cool. Yeah, so let's learn a little bit about Merlin, guys. People don't seem to know about it. I wanted people to learn about Merlin. My son wasn't aware of Merlin, and I felt that's my fault maybe as a parent. But we'll see. So anyways, yeah, be sure to check out Merlin's Marvelous Miscellany shop. People walk right by it all the time, but it's right behind me. Check it out. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Now, I gotta find a little spot where I can talk to you guys for 1 second. I just peeked out to see if the evil queen's still here. I didn't want to be harassed, but she's not. So I'm gonna come back here and we're gonna talk to you guys right over here by the fountain. I love the castle. All right, perfect. Hey, I want to take a quick little moment and I want to talk to you. Do you know how amazing Merlin is? He's the greatest wizard of all time. He was able to do all these really cool things, but you are even more amazing than Merlin. I hope you know that down in your heart because it's true. You are awesome. And I am talking to you. And if you think I'm not, then just stop for 1 moment and just listen to me. You are awesome. You make the world a better place. And I hope you hear that enough. Because I'm one of your biggest fans and I just think you're great. You make the world great. You make the world awesome. You do. Let's continue on with the video. We're gonna walk right back through this little hallway. Go kind of fast. There's like some benches here that you can relax in. There's little kids sitting on them, so I don't want to film that, but there's some benches and shade that you can use right there. So anyways, you guys hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Got more videos coming out. Make sure you do that. You are the best. Have a fantastic day, night, evening, wherever you are. I think you're amazing. Check out the store. I think it's really cool. And can somebody create the Aurora in green for me? I don't know. I mean, I'm just not graphically inclined to do that, but I think it'd be really cool if they could do that. Talk to you later. Bye-bye. Merlin's is an amazing shop. It's got some really cool things and it's got lots of books. And I mean, like, whoa, is there a Leonardo da Vinci? Is that Merlin or is Merlin Leonardo da Vinci? I don't know, but now I think I'm going to have to do some research and find out if they're the same person because they kind of seem like they might be. And to our Patreons, thank you so much. You are the best.